Alright, so today we're going to look at the Audit Risk Model. And our Audit Risk Model is a methodology we use to try and identify the audit strategy that we need to follow. So let's look at the formula first. Audit risk is a function of inherent risk control risk and detection risk. Okay, and you'll sometimes see it written like this. Or like this. Alright, so they essentially still mean the same thing. The audit risk is the risk that the partner is willing to accept that they give an incorrect opinion. Inherent risk comes from the risk inherent in the nature of the industry, the business, the economy. The control risk comes from the risk of misstatement associated with the internal control systems, and the detection risk is the risk of not finding an error. That is, the risk that the auditors take in designing their audit procedures so that they might miss a material misstatement. So, in the audit risk is set by the audit partner. The level of inherent and control risk are assessed by the auditor, alright, and the level of detection risk is what we need to solve for or what we need to find. Okay, so the audit partner gives us our level of audit risk. It's usually low risk of giving an incorrect opinion. And then the auditor needs to learn how to assess the inherent and control risk of the organisation. And then we solve for the level of detection risk. So let's look at how that works from a graphical point of view. Alright, I'm just going to change pens. Okay, so let's imagine two different companies. Alright, so we've got company A and company B. Okay, so in company A, we're going to look at a high inherent risk and control risk situation. And in company B, we're going to look at a low inherent risk and control risk situation. Now I'm going to make some videos later on that talk about how we identify the level of inherent and control risk at organisations, but today we're just going to work through the audit risk model. So where there is a high level of inherent and or control risk, there is increased risk of misstatements in the financials. Okay, in a low inherent and control risk, there is decreased risk. So our left-hand side shows our situation with a high risk of material misstatements. Each of those is represented by the X's that we see there. On the right-hand side, we have a company with low inherent and control risk. That means a decreased risk of misstatements. That looks something like this. So in our two situations, which side do you think, with company A or company B, do you think the auditor will need to exert more effort and minimise the risk of non-detection of misstatements. What we can see here is in Company A, the auditor would need to use more effort to detect all these material misstatements compared to Company B. So Company A is increased audit effort versus Company B. Okay, so with Company A, we need to have low detection risk. And in Company B, we have high detection risk. So what do those two options mean? Low detection risk means low risk of not detecting a material misstatement, which means the opposite is true. Low detection risk also means high probability of detecting misstatements, whereas high detection risk means low probability of not detecting any misstatements. But there's only here 5 errors to identify. So for the auditor, they don't need to spend as much time. So where we've got higher inherent and control risk, we have low detection risk. We have lower inherent and control risk, we can have high detection risk. A higher risk of not finding the errors because there's not so many to find. So remember, our inherent risk and our control risk move in opposite directions, not the same. So they move in opposite directions.